welcome back to another amazing session of Raise Your Frequency. I'm Diamond Leone, and this week we are going to be tapping on goal setting, but it's more than just goal setting. Before we get into the tapping, I'm going to show you guys my goal setting process. We're going to talk a little bit about goals, why they're important, and we are going to change the way that we think about goals. Okay, quick disclaimer, we do have a lot of material to go over today, but I promise you it is worth your time. If you want to do laundry or take a bath and just listen to this in the background, and then when you have more time to sit down and actually get out a notebook and do the exercises, you're going to feel so empowered. You're going to think of goals differently, and you're going to be so much more successful as it pertains to your goals. So first and foremost, goals are extremely important because you can't hit a target that you can't see. According to a website, goalscalling.com, only 20% of people actually set goals. I want to show you guys one of my most favorite books on the topic of goal setting. This was written by Brian Tracy, and I've read this book over 20 times. I've bought numerous copies for people. It is, I think, it should be required reading in high school because it talks about the psychology of why we need goals and just how to achieve them. And it's so amazing. Brian Tracy says in this book that if he could convey only one thought to help you be more successful, it would be this. And that is to write down your goals, make plans to achieve them, and work on them every single day. But since we're talking about Brian Tracy, I wanted to read you guys an excerpt from his book where he talks about how automatic goal seeking is a function that only man has and pigeons. So let me read so you'll understand. He says, imagine this exercise. You take a homing pigeon out of its roost, put it in a cage, cover the cage with a blanket, put the cage in a box, and then place the box in a closed truck cab. You can then drive 1,000 miles in any direction. If you then open the truck cab, take out the box, take off the blanket, and let the homing pigeon out of the cage, the homing pigeon will fly up into the air, circle 3 times, and then fly unerringly back to its home roost 1,000 miles away. No other creature on earth has this incredible cybernetic goal-seeking function except for man. We all have so much potential inside of our brain that we're not even using. We don't even realize how incredibly powerful our brains are, but you're going to realize some of that today. By the way, guys, I want to show you a picture of Brian Tracy and me years ago. It was my dream to meet him, and I manifested that. That's another story, but I was so excited to meet Brian that day. Here are some reasons that people don't set goals. Either they have, or they don't know how, or they have a fear of failure, they have a fear of rejection, or they just don't think goals are important. Let me give you an example of how powerful goals are. Why it's so important to set goals. Mark McCormick wrote a book, What They Don't Teach You in Harvard Business School. And it was a study that he talks about on some Harvard graduates from the MBA program. And the graduates were asked, have you set clear written goals for your future and made plans to accomplish them? Well, it turns out 3% of the graduates had written goals and plans. 13% had goals, but they were not in writing. And the other 84% had no specific goals at all. 10 years later, the researchers interviewed the graduates again. They found that the 13% who had goals, but not in writing, were earning twice as much as the 84% of graduates who had no goals. But most surprisingly, they found that the 3% of graduates who had clear written goals when they left Harvard, they were earning 10 times as much as the other 97% of the graduates altogether. The only difference between the groups was the clarity of their goals, that they had for themselves when they graduated and the fact that they were written down. There is something so powerful about writing your goals down on paper. A cybernetic function takes over when we actually do the process of from hand to paper. So when we are using our motor skills, our hand, to write out our goal, it's like our brain records it as a new program to go to work on. The other thing I really want you guys to understand is that happiness requires goals. Earl Nightingale once wrote that happiness is the progressive realization of a goal or a worthy ideal. Guys, I think that the reason why a lot of people are unhappy is because they don't have anything to look forward to. They're not working towards something. And especially as we get older, where we've been married, we've been divorced, we've bought the first house, we've gotten the brand new car, and we've achieved so many different milestones, things tend to become less like climactic for us as we get older. It's easy to not get as excited about life, but you've got to resist that. You've got to stop that. The way that you fight that is you always have fresh new goals in front of you, always, no matter what age you are. Having goals gives us all a sense of purpose, no matter who we are or what background we come from. You are never too old to have goals. The moment you stop having goals is the moment that your happiness will suffer. Another really important point that I want to get you to understand is that your goals must be soul-centered. You can't want to achieve something because somebody else has it. You have to know why you want the goals that you want. You also need to be in alignment with why you want the goals that you want. Otherwise, you'll find it really hard to achieve them. So Chalene Johnson is a public figure on Instagram, and I really love how dynamic of a personality she is. And she's always pushing the envelope and trying to learn new things, and she shares those things with us. And so one of the things that she talks about in her goal setting course is that there's usually 4 resources that if we don't have these, that's why we don't accomplish our goals. And so one of them is time, skills, discipline, or money. It's usually not having one of those things that is the reason that holds us back from achieving a certain goal. So let's take a moment and understand, how do goals work? How do we achieve the resources that we need to accomplish those goals? But most importantly, let's make it fun. Here's my 5-step formula for goal setting. Step 1, identify and rate yourself in each of the 5 areas of your life. We'll get into those in a second. Step 2, ask yourself, what's off in these areas of my life? What SMART goal will bring me closer to how it is that I want to feel in these 5 areas? By the way, the word SMART in the word SMART goals is an acronym, and it stands for S for specific. Your goal should be linked to one activity, thought, or idea. M stands for measurable. A goal should be something you can measure and track progress toward it. A stands for actionable. There should be clear tasks or actions that you can take to make progress towards your goal. R stands for realistic, meaning if you're not an astronaut, your goal should not be to go to the moon tomorrow. And T stands for timely. All of your goals need to have a deadline. Guys, it is so important to know why you want the goals that you want to accomplish. Because when you know what your why is, and that why is big enough, you can refer back to that whenever you hit a wall of procrastination or self-doubt. I want you to take some time with step 2 as you are asking yourself what's off in the 5 areas of your life. What is it that you want to feel? I want you to turn your phone off, and I want you to get a notepad out, and I want you to pour your thoughts onto paper. This is really important. Step 3, once you have your goals written down, remember earlier we talked about the 4 things, the 4 resources that holds us back from accomplishing a goal. I want you to go through each goal that you've written down, and I want you to put the letter T for time, the letter S for skills, the letter D for discipline, or the letter M for money. Which of those 4 resources is holding you back from accomplishing that goal. Step 4, identify the one goal that if you were to accomplish this goal within 90 days or sooner, that it would give you more of the resources. Remember the 4 resources we talked about? It would give you more of those resources so that you could accomplish the other goals. Step 5, let's have fun with it. I'm going to show you some tips to help you make achieving your goals doable and fun. Okay, so let's go through one example of setting a goal so you can see how this works. Remember I told you there are 5 areas of your life? Well, here they are. Number 1, career/financial, kind of self-explanatory. Number 2, developmental/personal growth. This is you wanting to better yourself, how you feel about yourself, learning more, managing yourself better, basically reaching your full potential and whatever that means for you. Number 3, physical and or your health. Again, self-explanatory. Number 4, family, relational, social. This is all of your relationships with other people, whether it's your family, your significant other, your social circles, friendships, things like that. Number 5, spiritual/value. This is your relationship with God, your creator, the universe, whatever you define that as. It is giving back to your community and making a difference in the world. It's important to have goals in each of these 5 areas of our life. But first, when you're getting started with your goal setting, you're going to want to do an assessment of each of these areas using a scale from 1 to 5. 1 being the worst to 5 being the most happy. Rate your happiness or level of fulfillment in each of these areas. This is very important. For example, let's take career/financial. Here's a couple of thought-provoking questions. You can have your own questions, but this is to help you get your juices flowing. Are you happy with the amount of money that you're currently making? Are you happy with the type of work that you're doing? Do you feel fulfilled doing what you're doing for a living? In other words, do you feel like your soul is being nurtured with the type of work that you're doing? So you're going to just rate yourself in this one area, right? You're going to ask yourself whatever questions that you need to ask yourself. Those were just examples, but then rate yourself. So maybe you might, if you're like, well, I'm happy with the type of work I'm doing. I'm a teacher, let's say, and it's very rewarding, but I'm just not making the amount of money that I want to make. So maybe you might want to give yourself like a 3 in that area. Possibly. Let's take developmental/personal growth. Let's say you want to assess yourself in this area. Here's a couple of questions that you might want to ask yourself. Do you feel that you are currently reaching your full potential in life? If not, what's holding you back? Are you a good manager of yourself, your time, your energy? Do you have solid boundaries in your life in relation to other people? Or do you feel like you're constantly being taken advantage of? Are you growing as a person? Do you feel good about yourself? Are you lacking in self-confidence? Whatever questions you want to ask yourself, it's important to dig deep and so that you can rate your level of happiness in this area. Maybe you're completely happy with this area of your life, and so you give yourself a 5. Now let's talk about the 3rd area of your life, which is your physical health, your mental health. Are you the ideal weight that you want to be? Are you happy with the levels of energy that you currently have? How's your mental health doing? Are there areas that you feel like you're just struggling in and you need help? Are you staying on track with workout routines? Do you even have a workout routine? Do you feel good about your overall physical and mental health? How would you rate yourself in this area? Remember, it's 1 through 5. 1 is pretty crappy, but 5 is pretty amazing. Okay, let's talk about number 4, your family, relational, social. This, again, has to do with all of your external relationships in your life. Do your relationships bring you a sense of peace and happiness? Is your love life where you want it to be? Are your relationships rewarding or stressful? Do you have a group of friends around you that lift you up and inspire you? Or do you not have enough friendships? Do you want more friendships? How would you rate this area of your life? Maybe you're doing okay in this area and you'd give yourself a 5. And last but not least, your spiritual/values. How's your relationship with God, the universe, or however it is that you defined your higher power? Do you feel soulfully nourished? Are you spending enough time in prayer and meditation? Are you spiritually grounded, knowing that you are always loved? Do you give back to your community? Do you try to make the world a better place? Remember, guys, this world does not revolve around us. We are here to serve and to give back. So if you're not doing that in some shape, form, or fashion in your life, you're missing out on a whole different level of conscious awareness and internal happiness. That's all I can say about that. So guys, Step one, I know it seemed like a long step, but it really is not. It's basically just assessing where you are on a level from 1 to 5 in each of those areas of your life. Now let's get into step two. Step two is what's off in those areas of my life? How do I want to feel in each of these areas? So let's take career/financial as an example to help you understand. You might have a goal of wanting to make more money, because who doesn't? But I want you to ask yourself, why do you want to make more money? Is it to have more financial freedom? Why do you want this financial freedom? Is it so maybe you can spend more time with your family? Here's what I want you to think about. I know that on the surface, it seems like you want more money, but I want you to go a little bit deeper. Is there a way that you could spend more time with your family without having this new money in your life? Do you see where I'm kind of going with this mental process? Because a lot of times we think we want something, but in reality, it's not that thing that we want. What we really want is what we think that thing can give us. And oftentimes we can actually get the result we want without having that exact thing. So that's what I want you to think about. Maybe you want more money because you want to travel more. Perhaps it's more adventures that you want to have so that your soul will feel nourished in that way. Is there a way that you can create more adventures in your life without selling yourself into slavery of making more money and pulling you away from the time with your family, let's say? The point I'm trying to make is that while we all want to have these big, lofty goals, the most important thing to remember is that these goals need to be in alignment with how we want to feel and how we want to live our life and the meaning that we have created for ourselves. We have to find the balance between the goals that we want to achieve and the quality of life that we want to have. The reason I say this is that chasing goals is fine, but remember that the clock is ticking on all of our life. And none of us know how much more time we have left. So you want to make your goals every year soul-centered enough that you can actually truly enjoy the process of going after those goals and achieving those goals. Okay, guys, we're on to step 3. We're making great progress. Which resource do you need to accomplish this goal? Is it more time? Is it more discipline? Is it more skills? Is it more money? For instance, using our example earlier about career and financial and how we wanted to make more money, let's say, what resource would you need more of to make more money? Maybe it's more discipline. Maybe it's more time to work, right? In order to make that money. But let's say you say to yourself, Diamond, I don't care what you say, I want to make more money. Maybe I do want to travel more. Maybe I do want to spend more time with my family, but maybe at the end of the day, I just want to look at my bank account and see a bunch of zeros behind a big number. And I just want to have more money. Okay, that's fine. As long as your soul feels in alignment with your goal, you can set that goal and you can accomplish that goal. So here's some examples of what your goal might look like in this area. Maybe you work longer hours. Maybe you get a part-time job. Maybe you get a mentor who can help you get to where it is you want to go a lot faster. Maybe you create a budget and cut out all unnecessary spending so you can save more money. Maybe you rent out a room in your house. Maybe you take on some freelancer projects. Maybe you research some ways to start your own business. Maybe you learn some ways to invest your money so it can grow. Okay, step 5, the most fun step of all. We're going to make this fun. This is the part where I share some tips to make achieving your goals doable and fun. Tip number 1, don't set goals longer than 3 months. This year is all about quarterly goal setting only. Anything longer than that, you're probably not going to do anyway. Let's face it. Stay focused on the shorter term vision. This is going to create the momentum that you need, and it keeps you in the game. This is why a lot of people fall off the bandwagon of achieving their goals, because they try to set goals too far out in advance. If you can just keep your focus in the short term, say 3 months at a time, you're going to be a lot more successful. Tip number 2, create a reward or something fun that you can reward yourself with as you're making progress towards your goal. I want you to enjoy the process and celebrate along the way. Giving yourself something fun to look forward to can make goal achievement so much more fun, and it will help you to stay motivated to keep going. Tip number 3, accountability. To make this fun, I want you to look at your goals and then figure out Which of these goals could you do with someone else or a group to make it more fun? For example, if working out and getting into better shape is one of your goals, then can you get a personal trainer to work with you? Can you take some group classes at your gym? Can you sign up for Pilates or a yoga class? I'm always motivated when I can do things with somebody else or a group, because this is what helps me to stay motivated. Can you get an accountability partner if it's like some more like high level strategic business planning type goals that you might have? Can you get someone else in that space who you guys could just be like accountability partners and make it fun? Tip number 4. Figure out your strengths and your weaknesses as it relates to your goals. If you hate doing technology type stuff and you want to create a business, but you know you need that technology part of it, can you outsource that? Can you hire someone else or bring someone else into your business that could do that part of it? If you have a business where you need to get out and sell a product, but your strength is not selling, maybe you're more on the creative end, can you hire someone who's really good at sales and get them out there on the front line to do the sales part of that business? Tip number 4. Figure out what your strengths and your weaknesses are as it relates to your goals. In other words, maybe you just need some help. Maybe on your own and left to your own devices, you're not going to sit down and write out these goals. You're not going to be able to ask yourself these questions and get the clarity that you need to write out your goals and to come up with a plan to accomplish them. Maybe everything I've just mentioned in this entire video is just overwhelming for you and it gives you anxiety. And if that's the case, then you know what? That might be one of your weaknesses that you need help with. So here's a couple questions I want to ask you. Do you need help getting clarity around what your specific goals are in those 5 areas of your life? Are you not sure what would make you happier? Do you just feel kind of stuck, but you can't figure out why? Maybe you feel that your struggles run a little deeper than just simply goal setting. Do you feel that you need some motivation and some help clarifying what your goals are to make this process fun for you? If you answered yes to any of those questions, would you be interested in having me help you and doing this as a group to get you started? So basically, I have a comprehensive but fun goal planning workshop where I walk you through a series of questions and we go back over your previous year and we learn what things that you maybe have gotten wrong that you want to get right this year. Where can we course correct? Where were your strengths and your weaknesses? And we use all of that information to help you get clarity and what you want to do differently this year. It's an empowered approach to goal setting, and it's incredibly insightful. This process that I take you through is so amazing. I have a friend who flies no matter where I am this time of year. She flies to come meet me to have me personally walk her through this process that I can take you on. If you're interested in working with me and you feel like that would be really beneficial for you to have somebody help pull this information out of you so that you can get all the clarity that you need around the goals that you want to accomplish and to just get yourself unstuck from where you are and get you to where it is that you want to be, which is feeling inspired, empowered, and having a clear path to seeing the results that you want to see in these 5 areas of your life, drop a comment below and let me know, or DM me on Instagram. I'm probably only going to be able to work with a select group of people, so definitely let me know as soon as possible. Okay, now let's get to some tapping. Let's clear the mental blockages. Let's release all of the anxiety around goal setting and get our minds into receiving mode. Okay, so I want you to just take a deep breath in and hold it at the top. Let it out. I am committed to setting some realistic goals this year. I've decided to make setting these goals so much fun. I have what it takes to complete these goals. Everything that I need is already inside of me. I deserve to have a good life. The only thing standing between me and what I want is getting off my ass to make it happen. I know that I'm capable of following a process. I now have the right formula to set my goals. I'm excited to sit down and map out my goals. In fact, I've never been more excited to set goals. Clarity is power, and once I do these exercises, I will have all the clarity that I need. It feels so good to empower myself. I love arming myself with knowledge. Goals can and will be fun for me this year. I will come up with a fun reward for my progress. I'm committed to finding an accountability partner. I can learn any new skill that I need. I'm preparing my mind to work with me. I'm choosing to see self-discipline as my friend. It's the part of me that wants a better life for me. Having clarity around my goals is a superpower. I deserve to live an extraordinary life. A life on my terms feels incredibly fun. I deserve to have financial freedom to do whatever I want. I'm committed to feeling good about my health. I'm committed to doing the work. I'm showing up for myself right now. Abandoning myself is not an option this year. In December, I will look back over this year and feel so amazing at all that I've been able to accomplish. I am a goal-setting force to be reckoned with. I love goals. They keep me on track. Goals are my friend. And so it is. Take a deep breath, hold it at the top. Let it out. So guys, I know this was a long one, but I hope that you have found some value in all of the steps that I mentioned on goal setting, some of the psychology behind goal setting. And also, please, by all means, feel free to take me up on the offer if you want some help on setting your goals, getting clarity around your goals, and having somebody to just help pull that information out of you if goal setting seems to be very daunting to you, or maybe you feel that there's issues that you're struggling with that are just really blocking you and preventing you from being able to set your own goals and to have peace in this area. Let me know. I am here to help. Leave me a comment in the comment box. But guys, please do like, share, and subscribe this video if you know someone that is really wanting to set some goals for themselves or take their life to the next level, they need to see this video. And the tapping is so phenomenal because it really helps to remove the blockages around goal setting and to empower you, to let you know that you can do it. Your brain is so incredible, guys. Like, we don't even use half of our brain. So yeah, I'm just super excited for you guys. This is going to be a great year for so many of us, but we have to be intentional about it. We have to make sure that we are hitting a target that we can absolutely see, and we're going to make it fun. We're going to make it fun. So, guys, I would love to know what you thought of this tapping session. Do you guys like it when I give a little class and then also the tapping, or would you just prefer me to go straight to the tapping? I want to know what you guys want to see more of. Also, what are your biggest blockages around setting goals? Drop a comment and let me know. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next week. Mwah.